Hello there everyone, this is Mark Brightside, and it has been quite a long time since I've uploaded anything. According to my notes, my last upload to this channel was in April 16th, 2016. So, wow, what the hell have I even been doing? That's kind of what I want to address here, essentially, because I did leave this channel with quite a few unfinished projects. Well, I say quite a few, I mean 3. And really I just want to clear the air about it because I do still get comments asking about, what's happening with such and such, and I don't really think it's fair to keep fobbing people off with excuses. I also want to apologize ahead of time because this video is unscripted, so if I end up rambling at points or doing that kind of thing that I always do, then I'm just going to apologize for that now. So my last upload in 2016 was the first part of the Ratchet and Clank 2 glitch run, and at the time I did actually have the fullest intention of completing that series. I actually had about 5 or 6 videos worth of content already recorded, and all I needed to do was edit it together and put some commentary over it. I'd actually played the game and got the footage from it, so there was no issue there. And this is kind of the one that I don't have a lot of excuse for, because let's just kind of go back to 2016 for a minute here. I just finished university, and I had a little bit more free time than I was accustomed to. That's why I decided to start the series at the time, was because I thought, this is something I can now do. I can actually put time and effort into this instead of just, instead of fumbling something together for the sake of having a new series. This is something I can actually make good. Unfortunately, not long after leaving university, I ended up getting into a job that kind of took up a lot of my free time, and not really in a good way. It's not like it was an incredibly tiring job physically, but it was emotionally and mentally draining. Which I think is probably the best way to say it. It took up a lot of my mental energy, even if not necessarily actual time. So the free time that I did have, I really didn't want to spend making videos or recording content or anything like that. I wanted to spend my free time a little bit more constructively in terms of my personal life. So the Ratchet and Clank series really got put on the back burner there, and I kept meaning to go back to it and I never quite did. Now, that's more or less the whole of 2016. I realize that doesn't really account for 8 months worth of real time, but that's what happened. It's not really an excuse or a reason, but there it is. 2017, on the other hand, was a bit of a... 2017 was its own beast for me. For those of you who don't know, outside of making infrequent, mediocre YouTube videos, I'm a writer. That's what I studied for, and that's what takes up a large amount of my free time. And last year I actually had a book published, my first book, so you can imagine I was quite excited about that. And this has been where a lot of my free time has gone. You have to bear in mind that for me, making gaming videos on YouTube was always a hobby. It was always just something that I did to pass the time. It was never intended to be a serious profession for me. I never hoped to make money off of this. I've never tried to monetize any of these videos. So when something in real life came up that was relevant to my interests and relevant to my career, that absolutely took over everything. That became my life for a few months. Not so much now, because the book's been out for a little while, and it's kind of, people are aware of it now. So there's not as much for me to do. But for a while, it really did take up most of my schedule. And I'm perfectly okay with that, but it did also dissuade me from making any further content for you guys, which is unfortunate, but I hope you can understand that. And I need to clear my throat, so please excuse me. I'm actually using a borrowed microphone at the moment, so if the audio quality sounds a bit less toilet than usual, you know why. Thank you, Sarah. Last year I also had to deal with quite a bit of personal drama as well, mainly concerning some family issues. Without really going into too much detail there was a death in the family, and I kind of had to deal with that. So, yeah, last year was a big year for me, in good ways and bad ways, hence why I wasn't really active on this channel. And the reason I keep saying on this channel is because I have actually started up a second channel. However, this channel is entirely devoted to my writing, to promoting my book, to promoting my work. It's a much more professional channel than what's gone on here in the past. Now, I will totally understand if anyone watching this isn't interested, especially because it is poetry, and I know that a lot of people, even people who regularly read or who enjoy books, don't necessarily like poetry, and that's absolutely fine. If it is something that would interest you, then feel free to check out that channel. I'll link to it in the description. My book is called Keep It in the Family. I'll link to that as well. If such things interest you, have a look. If they don't, I will absolutely understand, trust me. I will never try and force my interests or my passions onto anyone else. That's not the way I am. Now, going back to this channel, I left this channel in a bit of a weird state where I had, I want to say 3, but it's more like 2.5 unfinished projects on the go, so let's just kind of look at all of these one by one. First of all being Bug's Life. I left this one off in an absolutely horrible place because I'm like halfway through the game, and at the end of that video I talk about what I'm going to do in the next segment, and then the next segment just doesn't happen. This doesn't bother me as much as it should do, because that game was fucking soul-destroying to play, to edit, to comment over. I wasn't having fun with that series. And I realized that was kind of the point of it, was to go back to an old childhood game and be like, wow, this was terrible, what was I thinking? But I feel like that joke really ran thin after about 2 or 3 videos, and it wasn't fun anymore. So I had the entire game already recorded, but I just had no desire to do anything with it at all. It didn't interest me. It was putting me to sleep to record that game and to do anything with it. So that one's dead to me. I'm so sorry. But if you were enjoying that series, please don't expect any more of that one, because even if I had those video files still, I wouldn't be able to do anything with them. And I'm realizing now, I haven't even addressed the fact my old computer died. My old laptop that I was using for basically everything gave up on life last year, and I had to buy a replacement. Fortunately for me, I had most of the files that I genuinely care about backed up on an external hard drive. This doesn't include my YouTube content. Aside from what I already had for Ratchet and Clank 2, which I actually found out earlier today, I still have those raw files. Everything else that I don't have anymore, so anything related to the projects that are already uploaded onto my channel, all those raw files are gone, so I hope those don't get copyright struck, whatever. I hope those don't get taken down at any point, because I won't be able to re-upload them. And yeah, I've basically lost everything apart from the Ratchet and Clank ones. So even if I did want to go back to Bug's Life, I'd have to re-record the entire thing. And I do actually have the ability to record straight from the console now. And I do also have a better emulator installed on my computer, so it would probably make sense to do that anyway. But I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not going to. I hate that game so much, and I'm not going back to it. It's far too boring, far too tedious, and it's just not worth it. It really isn't. Now, as far as Ratchet and Clank 2 is concerned, I would be much more inclined to revisit that one, because I was really pleased with how the first video came out. I think it's one of my better videos. In terms of commentary, in terms of editing, I think that video came out well. But it also took a lot of effort, and it took a lot of time, which I don't necessarily have a lot of free time now. So I'm not sure about that one. Also, I don't know if I have my old save file anymore. If I do, then I can totally go back to that save file, and I can, carry on recording from where I left off. If I don't, I'll have to beat the game once, and then probably beat the game again to unlock all the weapons, and then play up to the point where I was, and it's just so much hassle, so much extra investment and time, and I don't really know if it's worth it, considering it was one video of a series that never materialized. I have had a couple of comments asking if I'm going to continue it, so I know there's an interest. However, it was uploaded 2 years ago, so will that interest still be there? I'm gonna guess no. Anyone who watches this video, if you feel like... If you're interested in the Ratchet and Clank series, then let me know. Comment on this video, tell me why. If enough people do, or if I get any sort of response at all, I might consider it. I don't think I'm going to, though. So that one might be dead as well. Now, the last thing that I still get comments about is Yume Nikki. A lot of people have been asking me if I'm ever going to upload the bonus video, where I use the walk through walls glitch to get into the docks. I've had about 5 people tell me how I could get into the docks, most of them through private message. I thought was interesting, as if you don't want to be associated with this game. I can't imagine why. But I can't remember all your names at the moment. I'll put it in the description who let me know about that. And thank you for letting me know about that, actually, because, you know, I did ask and I received, so yeah, definitely thank you for that one. But I did have a look, and there's really nothing worth showing in a video. If I did record a video of that game, it would be purely to show that there is nothing there, which seems like it's wasting my time and yours. I think that there were a couple of like minor graphical oddities in a couple of areas, but I still wasn't able to get into the barracks settlement. I still wasn't able to get into the infinite wilderness. Those were the 2 main areas that I was interested in reaching, and yeah, that wasn't going to happen. The docks really aren't interesting enough to warrant their own video, I don't think. That's just my opinion. Also, I cannot get the game to run on my new computer. My new computer just disagrees with it for some reason. There is an online version of the game that someone uploaded where it's like browser-based, you can just play it on there, but I think it's a bit buggy. Maybe it's accurate, but I've heard bad things about it. I didn't play it for very long myself. So, I mean, that would more or less be the only way I could do it, though, so... Yeah, I don't like making compromises. My attitude is always, if I can do it, if I can't do it to a way that I'm satisfied with, then I probably just shouldn't bother. And using this, like, bullshit online version of the game seems like a compromise to me. So I'd prefer not to, honestly. Unless I can figure out a way to get the game to run on my new laptop, which, maybe if I have a decade free. A couple of people have also asked me if I'm going to cover anything on Yume Nikki Dream Diary, which is the 3D... I don't think it was a fan project, I think it was like pseudo-official sequel / remake, whatever you want to call it, of Yume Nikki. I'm not really that interested. It sounded like a really cool idea in theory, but then I looked up some stuff about it and it kind of... It has a sort of cheapness to it, I think, in terms of the way it's made. It doesn't look that good or interesting. Maybe I just got a bad impression from watching videos of it, but again, I can't even run it on my computer. As far as I'm aware, you can only play the game through Steam, and it doesn't support a Mac computer, so not much I can do about that one even if I wanted to. I love how I came here to address the 3 elephants in the room, and I've basically just said, shoot them all. But that wasn't really my intention going into this video. Like I said, this is unscripted, so I'm kind of just looking at everything available and being honest, I guess. Some people might not like that, some people might, I don't know. As far as future content goes, like I said before, I have mainly switched over to my poetry channel. So if you're just interested in my content for whatever reason, then check that one out, but you know, be aware it's not gaming related at all, so don't go into it expecting that. For this channel, the most likely, if I post anything in the near future, it's going to be of The Binding of Isaac, because I've recently heavily gotten into that game. It was actually my girlfriend who introduced me to it, and I've become slightly obsessed with it over the past couple of months. I've put in... I shudder to think how many hours I've put in. Enough to basically unlock like 90% of this game's content. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a big game. Like, holy shit, it's a big game. So there's a very good chance that my girlfriend and I will be uploading some sort of race or competition or challenge or something concerning The Binding of Isaac in the near future, because it lends itself well to that, I think. And we both enjoy the game, we're both like moderately good at it, so yeah, that's something that I'd be interested in the near future. Of course, it just depends on when we feel like it, because, you know, when we spend time together, our first thought isn't, hey, let's record a 2-hour YouTube video. But yeah, that's something you can expect in the near future. I know some people might be a bit overdosed on The Binding of Isaac because a lot of other people have already covered it, so Again, I'll understand if it's not your thing, but if it is your thing, keep an eye open. You never know. I can't give a definite date or anything, so yeah, just keep an eye on that one. As for Martin, long-time visitors to the channel will remember him. We are definitely still in touch. He has expressed interest on a couple of times of recording some sort of video together, but it's actually kind of a similar situation to what I just described, where because Martin and I don't see each other as much as we used to live together and it was really easy then, we don't see each other that often anymore. So when we do, we usually just want to catch up on personal things or like talk about work or whatever. Our first reaction isn't, let's get out our laptops and play insert stupid game here. But I'm going over to stay with him at some point in the near future for a couple of days, so who knows, we might be able to do something there. Hopefully by then I'll have actually gotten a new microphone for myself instead of just leeching off of other people's kindness. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say here. I actually thought this video was going to go on a bit longer than it has done. As far as my free recording schedule is concerned, I have almost none. So it really would be a case of recording whenever I have an opportunity to, and I'm also in the mood to. Because I'm not going to force myself to do it. I don't think anything good would come from that. It would probably just weaken my content if I feel like I'm obligated to do it. I have this thing where if something becomes a chore to me, then the amount of effort that I put into it just dwindles significantly. I don't think that's entirely unreasonable. But especially with this channel, that's always been the case for me. It has to be something that I want. And yeah, that's basically it. So I'm going to let the rest of the video play. I have kind of decided what I'm going to upload in the background. I do have a timer on screen, but no actual footage to look at, so I'm going to assume this is still running. And yeah, if you hear from me in the future, then fantastic. I hope this video wasn't too rambly. I haven't recorded anything like this in a long time, so I'm a bit out of touch, I guess. But yeah, until next time, this has been Mark Brightside. Hopefully I'll be uploading to this channel sooner rather than later. Check out my alternate channel if that sort of thing appeals to you, if you like poetry and the reading and discussion of poetry. And until next time, take care.